Alright, a third video before we actually get in and start looking at the methods and the tools, because these two sections are actually they're actually connected. The methods are how we do it, and the tools are the methods are this is the methods of how we do it, and these are the tools we use to do it, to make these correlations between different standards libraries, and we can show that. But before we get into that, I just wanted to talk about the purpose. GEC is global English campus. We're really not, and we're largely an EFL focused entity. We're focused on learners in venues in societies that don't naturally speak English, teaching learners who live there, whereas ACTFL is more targeted towards immigrants who have moved into the U.S., where everybody, where the indigenous language is English. So the difference again between ESL and EFL. However, the basic skills are obviously the same, and I think it's quite a bit easier to address this problem than it is to address this problem for some reasons that you may know or not, but maybe we don't have to go too much into that. But largely, other than to say that this is an immersion environment, right? So the students, even though their parents may still speak their home, if they're if they're like first generation immigrants, the parents may stay in a community where they don't have to deal with the local language. There might be a big enough community where they can just operate the rest of their lives not having to learn English, which is often the case in the U.S. Whereas the students, first generation immigrants, have this dichotomy, But at least in the school systems and in society at large, they're going to be exposed in sort of in an immersion environment in their immigrant country, whereas EFL students are not exposed in any way in an immersion scenario. So in a sense, this is a much more difficult problem than this is, which is good news for us looking back. Because this is our perspective from out here in this difficult world, looking back in here to this more easy world, that we've got all that support and advantage. But if our co-interest is to have domestic U.S. products and international markets going on at the same time, then it's not hard for us to address this issue of correlated standards. Okay. Part of our interest in having a U.S. partner, a highly branded, I suppose, U.S. partner, or a highly capable U.S. partner, would be based on development and research based, and not just market based. Okay, because what we're actually going for is just to create more intelligent systems for the process of human development and learning. And in order to do that, we're trying to apply like some of the bases of control theory, like computational science and engineering techniques, into the optimizing of this human development process and learning process. So we're would be very interested in working with an agent partner in America who has that same sort of perspective. Secondly, what we're interested in internationally is just looking at human development from a intercultural or intersocietal view. Like what are the similarities and differences between how students learn in Japan as compared to how they learn in India or in Vietnam, per se. And adding America to that would not be a negative, right? The more the merrier. And if we're with a partner who has the same type of sort of development and research focused attitude, then that's just so much better, all the better. And so part of our interest is, I think the largest part of my interest personally is one of the main developers behind the GEC system. So from a theoretical and structural standpoint is the research and development component to it. Now we're running up on 5 minutes here too, and the next, I think the next videos will just start jumping into the methods, how we do it, how we do standards alignment, what are the tools that we have already built for it, and just one by one go through these in a series of quick videos.